that?
Well, that would be radon.
Radon.
And the governor of Michigan did proclaim it, as well as the EPA, Radon Action Month. So we're trying to get the word out concerning radon because really it's an invisible hazard. You can't smell it, you can't see it. It is a gas that comes up from the soil underneath your home, potentially accumulating at a high level inside the house, and then creating a health hazard, a potential health hazard down the road in the form of lung cancer.
And over time, it's not like, say, carbon monoxide, which again is something you can't see or smell, which can kill someone like within minutes. Right. Radon, it's over years of exposure.
If not decades. Yeah. But the hazard is there. It is the second leading cause of lung cancer behind smoking.
Wow.
And estimated 20 to 40,000 deaths per year attributed to high radon levels. Now, not every house has a high radon level, and really the only way to tell is actually to do a low-cost test.
Is Jackson County typically a big radon area?
Unfortunately, yes, it is. It is in the high range of, according to the EPA, and in fact, our entire area, as you can see from the map, in this area we're one of the top 4 or 5 counties in Michigan for radon. At like 44% of our homes are estimated to have a high level that probably should be attended to.
So it looks like the swampland of the state. So that's pretty much it. It originates in that type of geology. Now, getting your home tested, is it a complicated process?
It really isn't. I mean, you can hire a contractor to do a more complicated test to give you a little bit more detail, but you can also just buy a home test from Home Depot, the large, or Lowe's, or Walmart, or what have you. We at the health department, we also sell radon kits, and for the month of January, they are at half price.
Oh.
So $5 will get you a short-term test kit. It's a 3 to 5 day test. You follow the instructions, you set it out, you put it back into the packet and send it off in the mail, and 2-3 weeks later, you get your test result.
Is there anything like a smoke detector or a carbon monoxide detector that will sound an alarm if the radon is detected?
I think there have been attempts at that, but they haven't been big sellers, and generally speaking, you don't need something like that. It would be, overly expensive for the goals that you get. This is a long-term hazard. It takes, like I say, a decade or 2 or more for the health effects to start to show up.
So radon, it sounds like radon. Is it radioactive?
It is, and it's a breakdown element from radium, which is also a radioactive element, breakdown element of uranium. So uranium gives off energy, turns into radium, gives off energy, turns into radon.
Are there certain types of buildings, like a building with a crawl space versus one with a basement, that would be more susceptible?
Well, you'd think so, but in actuality, every house has its own unique configurations. And the soil, the radon is coming from the soil underneath a particular house. And that can vary from as little as from here to the next door neighbor. Your next door neighbor could be having a high level. It's kind of indicative that you might have one too, but not necessarily. So the only way to determine is to test.
And you want people to do a test over a period of time because it can fluctuate, right?
Yes, weather can change the levels and increase them. Heavy weather, low pressure cells creating negative pressure, pulling up soil gas from below, exiting out the top of your house. It's the chimney effect, and so you need to test over a period of time and then get your average levels.
If someone has their own well, can it leach into well water?
Well, it's a very small chance. It's possible that there is some radon in well water, but it's a very minimal risk. It's not very common. There's no bang for the buck in determining that.
So is there a fix if you discover you do have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. It's a very economical fix, anywhere from $500, $600, $700 up to $1,000, depending on your home configuration. Essentially, what they're doing, if you happen to have a sump pit tied into your foundation drains, they will use that as an access point. Put a pipe in there, exit it outside, put a fan that's constantly drawing the air from the foundation drains and the sump pit. Obviously, it's sealed right there.
Mm-hmm.
The gas is provided another way out of the house instead of coming into the house.
So basically, you're just redirecting the gas.
Yes, because actually we're breathing radon gas right now,
Mm-hmm.
believe it or not. Very low level, I would venture to guess, because of the configuration. But it's an easy fix, but again, the only way to know if you have a problem is to test.
And is radon good for anything?
I don't know, to be honest.
It's not good for the human body.
It's not good for the human body. It's naturally occurring. We've evolved to live with very low levels because it's always present at some very low level, even outside, but our houses can accumulate it at an unhealthy level.
And if you already are exposed to other, I guess, hazards to your lungs, like if you're a smoker, exposing to radon, does that increase your?
Oh yes, that doubles the risk, if not triples the risk, if you're a long-term smoker.
Wow.
Even if you were a smoker previously and have given it up, which is a great thing, we encourage that at the health department, but even then, your risk is higher than if you're a non-smoker.
Someone that has cracks in their basement, is that, I guess, another entry point?
It is.
Okay.
It is, and if you have opportunity and you see cracks, you can caulk those up, but that's considered a temporary measure because that caulk will deteriorate over time. It's not a foolproof. The better way is to put a mitigation system in, as I described before, with a constant fan taking the soil gas to the outside.
Mm-hmm. And I would assume, because Jackson County's a radon area, there are contractors who are familiar with mitigation.
Yeah, as well as measuring. The state of Michigan, on their website, if you just type in search for radon gas, you're going to get to a whole wealth of information. We have many of the same documents on our website. There are certified measuring contractors. There are also certified contractors for mitigation projects.
Are there certain types of homes? We've talked about, style of construction, but are you saying everyone should get radon tested?
Well, because you can't tell whether you have a problem or not until you test. Like, it's a $5 test at this point in January. Otherwise, it's $11 from us, maybe $15 at local stores. Very inexpensive. And you really only need to do it once to see if you even have a problem. And if it's very low, hey, you don't have to worry about it again for another few years. Take another test. My own house, I 20 years ago tested very low. It has crept up.
Really?
Of course, I did my own construction, so I only have myself to blame on this one, but I am going to have to deal with the problem because it has gone above the EPA action level of 4.
Oh, wow. All right, well, that's why we are observing Radon Awareness Month, and while there are fixes and measuring tools, this is the month to do it because of the costs.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the info. Thanks for sharing it with us.
Quite welcome. Anytime.
The Director of Environmental Service Division with the Jackson County Health Department, Don Haydock. We've got some things to celebrate coming up next.